Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be. I am HR Funk, your host, and this is the Un-tacticool Livestream. I came up with that name about 2 minutes ago when I was trying to think of a name because it occurred to me that for someone who has a firearms YouTube channel or a YouTube channel that is geared toward firearms and shooting, and in some instances, some of the firearms that I've had on the channel have been very modern, cutting edge type firearms. I am probably one of the most untacticool people on YouTube. So that just seemed like kind of a humorous title to come up with for the live stream this evening. And that's what I decided to go with. As usual, as I said earlier in the day when I put the announcement up for the live stream this evening, there's no script, there's no agenda, there's no anything else. This is just a chance for all of us to get together on a Friday evening and have a good time together. I am planning on responding to your comments and hopefully getting some good dialogue going back and forth. And this is always a good time. So thank you all for joining. And already we've got people over here that have joined us. Joe Morgan is here. Mr. Harry Lasagna is here. Rhino is here. Art Grote. Jeff Tim is here from Florida. And hope all is well down there, Jeff. Hope the knee is getting better. Ken Kaufman. Troy Mason is here. Semper Fi, Troy. True American Loretta is here. Thanks for joining. Guy Nail is here. Camp David says, greetings from New Washington State under the reign of Bob Gotcha Ferguson. Thanks for joining, Camp David. Woo Sung Shim is here. Thanks for joining, Woo. Master of Disaster says, we're here. Semper Fi to you. The Wright family. I'm not, I think you mean tacticool either. 380 in the front pocket, folding boy cotted. I think that's supposed to be folding Boy Scout knife. So cool. Oh, by the way, thanks to all of you who sent in suggestions when I put that announcement up earlier today, looking for a new tool, mainly to use as a sight adjustment tool out at the range. And as I mentioned in the announcement for that, I was looking for something just lightweight that would be applicable for a lot of different types of firearms. And I was pretty sure out there somebody would have an idea for kind of a cool tool that would be compact, lightweight, and would do what I needed to do. And I think I've got a winner. I'm kind of waiting to see if any late suggestions come in, but you will see that winning suggestion coming up in a future video, so stay tuned for that. Let me jump back over here. I'm already getting behind in the comments. Troy Mason says, where's Mimi? She's away this evening. She's out of town, so I'm home by myself and unleashed. How about that? And yes, I'm drinking just ginger ale for anybody that wants to know. So I'm not sitting here getting sloshed while Mimi is gone. Good dogs. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce that. Good dogs, all of the above. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm in North Carolina. Good for you. Hope all is going well down there. Jeff hit Planet Fitness. Good. So the knee must be doing better. Oh, it says still sore. Sorry to hear about that, but hopefully it's getting better and getting stronger. Ben Crane is here. Thanks for joining, Ben. James Wilkinson says hello from the truck shop in Charleston, Missouri. Thanks for joining, James. John Sumter is here from Charleston, South Carolina. Thanks for joining. We usually get down to Charleston about once a year. My wife loves to come down there. She's originally from North Carolina. We typically go out to Folly Beach. So I enjoy coming into Charleston. It's a great town. So thanks for joining us from Charleston. And just going down through here, Jürgen Jorger is here from Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining. Wayne D is here. Says howdy. Howdy to you, Wayne. And we have someone else from South Carolina, T. Wilkins from Port Royal, South Carolina. Thank you for joining. Scott Person is here. Says I have a lot of followers in North Carolina. Well, that's good. I lived in North Carolina for about 2.5 years when I was in the Marine Corps. I was out at Cherry Point. I got there in the fall of 1985 and didn't leave until uh, just after New Year's in 1988. So however long that is how long I was in North Carolina. Nice state. Jeff Beeson says, howdy from Texas, soon to be Florida. Good for you, Jeff. Hope you enjoy the move. Rabbi is here, so the party can start. Baconator Doom is here from McGee, Mississippi. Thank you for joining. Kenneth Garrett, aka Hillbilly Jack, is here. Is that good? I'm seeing lots of familiar names, so lots of people joining in this evening. And again, questions, comments, anything you folks want to throw out, by all means, go ahead and do so. I'm here to try to answer questions, let you know some of the things that are going to be coming up on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this past week. I actually put up at least 3 videos this past week with the 1917 battle over the 1917 revolvers, and the trailer I did for that, and the one that I did just a day or so ago on the oh shoot, what was it? The concerns I have with some of the tactics and training that I've seen out there for armed civilians. So 3 videos this week. So I'll throw this out now. There's not going to be a Saturday morning video tomorrow. So sorry about that. But with everything else that I was doing and getting those videos up, I just didn't get one done for tomorrow morning. So apologize to everyone that's not going to have anything to do at 8 o'clock in the morning, or 8 o'clock my time anyway. But there will be another one up soon. I did get some more recording done just yesterday. And when I get that video finished and edited and uploaded, that's probably going to be this coming Wednesday's video, but we'll have to see. And while I'm making announcements, I'll let you know that in the coming week or two, I have a lot of things going on, a lot of things in my personal life. And chances are that tomorrow is not going to be the only day that I don't get a video up here in the next couple of weeks, just because I know I'm actually going to be out of town for a while, and my daughter has got a bunch of things going on, and I just am almost certain that I'm not going to get a lot of videos recorded, which is part of the reason I want to do the live stream this evening, just to let everyone know and kind of get that information out there. So don't worry, I haven't fallen off the face of the planet or anything else if you don't see me for a while, but it's just going to be difficult to get anything recorded in the next couple of weeks. And what do we got over here? El Sublimicio says, howdy from the mountains of Southern California. Thank you for joining. Lyle W., also from California. So great. We have people from California joining, and it's, what, about a little after 3:30 out there. So thanks for joining in. Troy Mason, yesterday's video was a pleasant surprise. Normally it's only on Wednesday and Saturday. And I do that sometimes if I have something, especially if it's something that's kind of off the usual trail, if I'm talking about, a training issue or a political issue or something like that. A lot of times I don't put that on one of my regular Wednesday or Saturday video time slots, just because it is something a little different, and I'll usually throw that out at a different time. And let me get down through here, see where we are. And as always, if I miss your comment, I apologize. When the comments really start rolling, I try to come over here and catch them, but they'll be running up the screen and they'll jump, and I'll try to go back. So if you put a comment on there, you ask me a question or whatever, and I miss it, I will apologize now. It's not intentional, but sometimes I just can't catch everything. And Peter, I don't know if that's Angelus says, what's HR on about today? Just kind of whatever, whatever anyone throws out. This is just a good time for us to get together and shoot the breeze. Rabbi says, let's talk about awesome rich bosses and the gifts they get. Rabbi sent me a message earlier today showing me a gift that his boss got him. And I don't know if it says more about the boss or the gift, but Rabbi, if you want to put it up there, I'll let you do the honors. You can put it in the comment section over here. I won't reveal what it is, but it was a tremendous gift that he got from his boss. Scott Person, my friend in Illinois, told me having a ghost gun will be a felony in 180 days. In Illinois, I am not surprised. Mr. Harry Lasagna, your thoughts on the new SIG contract? I assume you're talking about the Army's new rifle that they're in the process of procuring. Where to start on this? Let me start by saying I am not an absolute authority on this new rifle and everything that goes along with it. I've done a little bit of looking into it. I feel like the military is taking a step backward toward what they had with the M14 in adopting this new rifle. Well, for one thing, it's going to be a lot more expensive than your average M4. But beyond that, it's a bigger, heavier rifle. It takes bigger, heavier cartridges. Soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors that happen to have that rifle are not going to be able to carry as much ammunition on their person. I just don't know. It strikes me as weird. I wish I had some inside scoop as to, what the thought process was behind this. I know the new ammunition is intended to penetrate body armor at extended distances and all that. And the ammunition itself for that dual metal cartridge case that has to be fused together and the special bullet and everything else, how much is that going to cost? Apparently the military has a lot more money at the moment than I would have expected, but for better or for worse, it looks like that's what they're going with, and we'll just all kind of have to keep an eye on it and see how things go. And let me jump back over here. Taylor Springs says, 2 friends here, Taylor and Kyle from Cedro Woolley, Washington, and Mesa, Arizona. Thank you for your amazing video. You're welcome, and thank you for joining. Thanks a lot for being here. Troy Mason, I have a pistol competition Saturday morning, so I would not have been able to join anyway. All right, well, so good. At least you're not going to be missing out on the live chat or anything. Right Family says, hit the like button. So if you're so inclined, by all means. Rhino says, HR Funk, any chance you got around to looking into the possibility of an M18 ejector? You know what? No. And I remember your comment. I haven't noticed mine doing that, but I am going to have to pull it out and actually look at it. I meant to do that, and I'm sorry it slipped my mind. I'll have to get that done. Marty Neff, thank you so much for what you do. I really enjoy your videos, and I've learned a lot. Good. And that's, I really try to strike a balance between the videos being entertaining and being informative. If they're just dry information, people don't like to sit through that. But if it's just a comedy routine or, pure entertainment, then people don't get a lot out of it. So I really try to strike that balance, and I hope that comes through on your end as well. And wait a second. Rabbi was saying something. I want to see what this is. Taylor, we have 51 friends here. Great to see you. Good. Peter is asking, are you switching genders? I hope that's not directed toward me. My gender is pretty well fixed. Ken Kaufman, HR, would a 10 millimeter Browning high power be too much for this world? I don't know. I've got my concerns about Browning's reimagining of the high power and redesign and all that. The high power was always, for its time, a pretty svelte, again, for its time, high capacity pistol. And now it's going to be a 40-ounce, 17-shot behemoth. It'll probably be strong enough for a 10 millimeter, but I don't know. I'm kind of I'm trying to reserve judgment until I actually see one of the new high powers and get a chance to handle it. But just what I know of it so far just doesn't seem encouraging. Jeff Tim, wow, just saw the social post, Tezos versus Colt. Jeff, who is waiting a lotto win to buy a Colt. And that's the one I was out working on yesterday. I was out at the range yesterday getting the video recorded for that. I'll get the inside part of that done, and I'll get it edited and hopefully get it up within the next few days. And Luke B, I just lost you there. I saw you had a comment. I've been heavily considering getting rid of my 20 SF because 10 millimeter price and availability. A buddy of mine says that soon prices will get better. You know, right now it's hard to say because the price of everything is going up. As the price of gasoline and oil goes up, the price of everything else goes up too because everything has to be shipped. You know, I don't know what to expect in the next, few months as far as ammunition costs or the cost of anything else for that matter. I just filled up the Jeep on the way to work today, and that cost me $50. And the Jeep has a pretty small gas tank. And my wife, when I fill her car up, it takes $70 or $80. The Corvette has, I'm not sure how many gallons it is. I filled it up a couple of days ago. It cost me like $70 to fill up the Corvette. So gas is just ridiculous right now. Jürgen Jorger last weekend shot an M18. It was pretty nice, pleasant to shoot. Yeah, I like to shoot mine too. It's a great shooting pistol. I really like it. Yep, Rabbi let the cat out of the bag that his boss bought him an FAL. So let me know if he's taking applications because I might be able to make it down there to take a new job. And Joe Morgan says, yeah, HR, what's your take on all this anti stuff? I think they're all like thieves in your house stealing as they see someone pulling in the driveway. Yeah, that's kind of the way it comes across. I don't think anybody's happy about it, and I'm not entirely sure what we can do about it other than vote in the next election. Peter Angelis, just watch when 95% of the Army keeps the M4. That could be too. I have a feeling the M4 is not going to disappear very quickly. Joe Morgan, I think the 6.8 Spear is going to make the 5.56 go. Wait a second. And this thing just took a jump, and I hate it when that happens right when I'm in the middle of reading a comment. 6.8 Spear isn't going to make the 5.56 go anywhere. Who knows what might happen in the future. Crumbly Q, my meatloaf loving, soup soba eating, Buckeye based leatherneck brother. Greetings from Lake County. Greetings. Thanks for joining. Can't fake the funk. Meet up at Camp Perry. And hopefully I'll make it to Camp Perry this year. I don't know. Like I said, I've got a lot of stuff that's coming up in the next few weeks and actually throughout the summer. So I'm not absolutely certain I'm going to make it to Camp Perry this year, but I'm going to try. I haven't even made it to a rifle match yet. That's how busy I've been. Lane's Domain is here. Hi, ED. And Reverend Skip is here. Thanks for joining, Skip. Ben Crane, I honestly thought they might switch to the 6mm ARC extended range and keep the same lower. It seems like something like that would have made more sense, but yeah, who can fathom what they're doing exactly? Wallaby Party says, I don't know why this rifle is used in a DMR role. It seems odd to replace the 556 with an excellent carbine. It does, and supposedly the big thing is they want to be able to defeat body armor at extended distances, which apparently the 556 is not able to do as well as they would like it to do. And this just took another big jump. American Patriot, I'm curious, is tactical supposed to be an insult? No, it's not an insult. It's just a joke. I said at the beginning that I am like, for someone that has a firearms oriented channel on YouTube, I am the most un-tacticool or tacta-uncool, however you want to say it, firearms content creator there probably is out there. So it's just kind of a joke when I put it up there, not meant to insult anyone. And let me jump back over here. Tacticool is just smart alecky. Yeah, there's never an attempt here to insult people or offend anyone. That's never my intent. It's always just to have a good time, have fun. You know, people will poke fun at me, which is fine. I poke a little bit of fun back, but it's all in good spirit. It's not ever really intended to hurt anyone's feelings. Carrie Rollins is here. Thanks for joining, Carrie. Luke B, my Arrow M4E1 upper finally came in. It's the nicest upper I've owned. I put a brown A2 fixed stock on the lower. Cool. Good for you. And Jeff Tim putting up the blue label announcement for anyone that wants to purchase a Glock. Peter says my F450 holds about 40 gallons of diesel. Oh, yeah. That's going to be expensive to fill up. And some of you guys are talking amongst yourselves, which is fine. I just have to sift down through here and look for the next comment for me. Glenn Terrorist says, you have a bug out set up. I have a 357 357 rifle, Smith & Wesson 686 Plus, and I have a bag set up ready to go to get me home with some bare necessities for the day or so. I don't have a bug out kit as such. I have a lot of stuff that is in my Jeep and that I keep with me that hopefully will always get me back home. James Wilkinson, I'm a truck driver and it costs anywhere from $700 to $1,000 to fill up big trucks. That's why the price of everything is going up. Yeah, and I get that. Like I said, I think about that every day when I'm watching the news and I see that gas has reached a new high price nationwide, and diesel fuel right along with it, and not just for truck drivers or people that drive to work, but farmers out there using tractors to do all the things that they do, and other equipment that runs on gasoline or diesel fuel. Whenever the price of fuel goes up, the price of everything goes up right along with it. Luke B, Civi still can't get M855A1 reliably. Yeah, and ammunition is such a mixed bag trying to get the stuff. Rare Bear, do you load standard AR magazines with 30 cartridges or 20? Now, I load them with 30. That's just me, and I know the idea or the rationale behind downloading it by a cartridge or two. I load them with 30, and I've never had a problem. Patrick Edwards, I may have to get the Tesis GI 1911 to follow me home. Please make me feel less remorse for my lack of self-control. No reason to feel any kind of remorse. I really like my GI Tesis, and like I said, you're going to see that in an upcoming video here. And Mr. Harry Lasagna says, has anyone sent you any firearms to test out yet? I have all the Shadow systems and would love to get one in your hands to test and review if that's even an idea. I wouldn't mind shooting at Shadow systems. I shot I guess it was a Shadow systems I shot a couple of weeks ago when I went to that fundraiser. That was one of the handguns we shot at, because I thought at first it was a Zev, but it turned out to be a Shadow systems. And I don't know. If you have my email, hit me with that. We'll see. I have no idea where you are, if it's, feasible to try to get a handgun here or not, but I would not mind trying one out. Peter says it's almost as if the 7.62 by 51 is a versatile, suitable round for fighting at any reasonable range. Yeah, and I like the 7.62 by 51, but even so, the whole reason for switching from that to the 5.56 and having greater capacity and everyone can carry more ammo and all that kind of thing is still out there. Like I said, it seems odd that we're taking a step back to this other new cartridge. Patrick Edwards, you are old school cool. And retro stuff is currently. Well, yeah, probably emphasis on the old there. Jeremy Howard bought a Colt 1911 World War I reissue a few months ago. It hasn't been fired. Most people tell me not to shoot it for value reasons. What's your opinion? Depends a little bit on what kind of condition it's in. If it's been fired and it's in good mechanical condition, you're really not going to hurt the value of it by shooting it, as long as you don't, damage it or anything else. Shoot it with standard pressure 45 ACP ammo and you should be fine. On the other hand, if it's a brand new, pristine, museum quality piece, then I probably wouldn't shoot that. So it depends a little bit on exactly what you have. Hey, HR, do you ever apply linseed or tung oil to your M1? I recently restocked my rifle and wasn't sure what the schedule was for the stock and the finish. No, I don't. I know a lot of people who do. I just don't with mine. If you research that a little bit, you should be able to find information out there. I know I've seen some things online with instructions on how to go about doing that and everything. Mike Burnett, are you into knives at all? Just commissioned a custom Damascus K-bar. Maybe more impatient about finally getting it in my hands than most of the guns on my wish list. I use knives. Knives are tools to me. I'm not really into knives, I don't think I would say, but I have a bunch of them for various tasks. So I hope you get yours soon, and I hope you like it. American Patriot, thanks for answering your question. No problem. And feel free to ask. I don't mind. Peter says, HR, you're a geezer. Pretty cool in a process. It's pronounced. Is it angels? Am I saying that right? Or angelus? Angelus. I don't know. I read that so many different ways. It's like angles, like a plural geometry term. Angles. Okay, got it. Thank you. Does anyone know the approximate weight of the new military rifle? I think it's up on the SIG website. If you go there, I think it's got the weight listed. By the way, I think the price for the thing for a civilian version is like $8,000 or something insane like that. Luke B wouldn't consider Paul Harrell tactical, but he's definitely no one with whom you would ever want to mess. I agree. Patrick Edwards, look into the Hazard 4 Plan B. Pack mine's been good to me. Excellent day. Excellent day. Okay. All right. I get what you're saying now. Pat Branagh says, a big thank you, HR. You gave me advice on how to get started in high power a few years ago. Going well in the third season. Good for you, Pat. Good. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So have a great season. Lyle W. HR tried the SIG 2022. I love mine. Great ergos, great deal. No, I have not tried it. So if I get my hands on one, I'll be glad to, but I've not tried one yet. Rabbi, unpopular opinion, Zev triggers don't excite me. I got to tell you, I think I shot 2 at that fundraiser, 2 different pistols, and neither one of them had a trigger that I thought was tremendous. So it's funny you say that. That was something that I thought when I was shooting those pistols. Taylor Spriggle, I appreciate your 1911 videos. Ultimately helped me decide to purchase my first SDS imports reproduction. Very happy with the results. Good for you. The Wright family says the wife and I bought a tactical backpack and used it for a diaper bag. That's good. D-Life Colt Competition 1911, now really blued versus matte finish. Mine is blued. It's not a real high luster blue. That it's actually the sides of the slide are blued and the top is a matte, presumably to keep down on glare or reflection off the top of the slide. And the frame is stainless steel, but it is a blued slide on mine. Skip Boyer says, I have a gun, it's getting shot. Skip, that's no way to treat a historical specimen. What's wrong with you? You historical specimen, you. David Cackle says, Hrumph, my new gun club, Geezers International. Send me a membership form. Colt 1911 now selling for more than the MSRP, and that might not be the only one that's selling for more than the MSRP. Never wear camo when you travel. You don't want to get held up. Mark Nagel says, hi, Mr. Funk. Have a great weekend. Same to you, Mark. Thank you very much. Colt Competition 1911 worth $1,200. That's one of the things I'm going to be exploring in my next video, so stay tuned for that. Word Prussia says Atlantic has PTR 32s back in stock as of today. Everyone has ammo on sale lately too. We'll see how long that lasts. And Shane A. Baker says 8.4 pounds for the new SIG rifle and $79.99 price tag. Yeah, I remember the price. I saw that and I saw $8,000. Holy smokes. That's not going to fly off the shelves with civilian purchasers. And then they've got the new optic for the thing. And from what I understand, that everything that does, it's not going to be cheap either. Peter Monk says, great work. Thanks for your effort. Thank you very much, Peter. Elaine's Domain. I shoot my anniversary model 1978. Wait a second. 1978 and unused until me. Okay. All right. So it was unfired before you got it, but you shoot it. Okay. Get what you're saying. Stephen Detweiler says, good evening. Just settling in after dinner. Thanks for joining, Steve. Robert KF1 says, missed the beginning. Got to hit the time machine to see what. Yeah. Just a lot of talking and having a good time. But by all means, go back and catch up. WagTech, I don't consider it a bug out bag. It's a bag that goes with me in the house every night and doesn't stay in the driveway overnight. Well, that's wise. I've seen too many things disappear from driveways overnight, so definitely you don't want to leave that out there. Rhino says, going back to the new M5 rifle, I think it's a better M16 replacement than the M4 replacement. I think they should call it the M16A5 and keep the M4 for rear echelon use. And I think like I said, I don't think the M4 is just going to vanish overnight. I think it's going to be around for quite a while, but I suspect over the next, several decades, it's probably going to slowly fade away. And who knows what might come around in a couple of decades. They might have laser guns by, 2035 or 2040 or something like that. Joe Morgan says, if you could have one AR-15, would you have a modern rifle or a retro one, and why? If I could only have one, probably a modern one, just to get some of the newer, functionality and the, more compact profile and everything else. I would probably go with a modern one, but I would hate to have to make that choice. Troy Mason, did you bring a non-firing replica tonight? Yes, I did. The non-firing replica this evening is a non-firing replica of a Smith & Wesson model 25-3. If it fired, it would be chambered for the 45 ACP cartridge. This is a 4-inch version of this revolver, and it is a grandson to the revolver that I had in the video earlier in the week, the model 1917. So there you go. That's this evening's non-firing replica. Andrew Peterman says, sorry I'm late. Was cooking dinner. No problem. Ben Crane won't like the SIG 2022. It's a DASA German. Okay. And this just took a great big jump, and I'm missing a bunch of comments here, so I apologize if I miss anything anyone said. Joel Smith, I'm a recent subscriber and really enjoy the channel. Haven't caught up with the vids in history. I assume you were LEO and were military. Love your presentation. Very succinct. Thank you. Yes, I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years from, I got to think what the years were now, 1985 until 1989. I was out for almost 2 years, during which time I was hired by a law enforcement officer. Then I got recalled back into the Marine Corps for Operation Desert Storm, back in for a while, got back out, and then continued with my law enforcement career, which I just concluded really about a year ago when I left my last position. And now I'm working in armed security. So that's my bio in a nutshell. And the Feral Tarot says, you're as tactical as Paul Harrell. Well, good. I'm in good company. Peter Angles says the M4 will be around for over 20 years. Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see it still being around that long. D-Life says, I have to buy a Colt now or it will be gone. $1,200 for the 45 competition. That's what I paid for mine, and I'm glad I have it. I guess that's the best thing I can tell you. NCOs. And I'm just kind of scrolling down through the comments right now, and you know, a lot of these aren't really anything I can respond to. Remember, everything I've heard, the M5 is currently for spec ops, infantry, and engineers. I've heard that it's going to be, limited issue to begin with, but I'm sure it's going to filter out to the larger military organizations. Patrick Edwards, they do have laser weaponry. However, it's sea to air ship-based technology. I've seen something on that. I've seen like some History Channel or some type of TV programs talking about military use of lasers, but I don't know just exactly what the current state of those is. Taylor Spriggle, awesome bio. Thank you. Luke B, such a sucker for FDE. Steve Detweiler says they're using some rail guns on Demolition Ranch if the tech develops. Okay. Lyle W. Ben Crane says, I've got the 9mm and a 357 SIG. Haven't shot it yet. It's a terrific pistol. Okay. Emmy says, better haircut than Paul Harrell. Well, thank you. Jürgen Jorger wants a phase plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. Yeah, you and the Terminator both. Okay. Rabbi is updating my bio. Thank you, Rabbi, for that addendum to my bio. Bald and Curious, what are we talking about? How you doing? Just shooting the breeze tonight. So no real topic or any agenda or anything like that. We're just having a good time and getting some good dialogue going back and forth. So anything you want to throw in, feel free. Rhino says, I met Paul Harrell at a gun show. Nice guy. Good. Hey, he seems like a nice guy, just what I can tell from his videos. Peter Angles, do you have any single daughters? Do they have different haircut from you? Yes, my one and only daughter is 18 now. She's getting ready to graduate from high school here. In fact, today was her last day of school. So how about that? Talk about something to make you feel old. And yes, her hair is definitely different than mine. Wagtech, have you looked at or handled the SIG P938? I've seen it. I don't think I've handled it or done anything with it, but I have seen it. Joel Smith, I don't know if I could choose between my AR-15. Yeah, I know what you mean. That would be very difficult. Shane Baker, what's a gun that you saw in a film that you ended up not liking in reality? Saw in a film and didn't like in reality. I don't know. There's a lot of guns that I've shot that I've seen in films that I really like. Smith & Wesson Schofields and Walther P38s and a lot of firearms that I really liked that I've seen in movies. Trying to think of one that I didn't like. Well, of course, there is that obscure pistol made by the Austrian company. They've got a U.S. component these days. It's been around for a few years, made out of plastic. P9, it's got a porcelain frame and not picked up on metal detectors. If that sounds familiar to anybody. I didn't particularly care for that one. All right, where are we here? Mark Nagel, Mr. Funk, what's your opinion? Oh, please don't call me Mr. I see Mr. Funk and I feel like somebody's talking to my dad. Please, Howard, HR, whatever. What's your opinion on the Navy's railgun? I don't have a clue about it, so I can't comment on it one way or the other. Sorry. Steve Detweiler shot my friend's new Canic 9mm, no dry fire, nothing. Picked it up, shot the tightest group I ever. And I'll tell you, that Canic that I got, that Rival Dark Side, is the first Canic that I've ever fired, and I'm extremely impressed by that pistol. It surprises me how impressed I am with it, and I never expected to be. Armored Ghost, what's in the glass? Just ginger ale. That's the only thing, nothing else, just ginger ale in the glass. When I do the live streams, a lot of times I'm talking and my throat starts to get dry, and the next thing my voice sounds weird. So I've learned to have something to drink when I'm doing these things to just keep my voice going. But this is 100% ginger ale, nothing else in there. Gary Thornberry is here, says hi all. Hi to you, Gary. Rich Powers is here, says late to the party. What's the non-firing replica? Oh, you missed it. Okay, we'll have to do it again. Tonight's non-firing replica. Here it comes. The 625-3 4-inch non-firing 45 ACP chambered revolver. So there we go. That's a second time through for the non-firing replica. And Rabbi didn't like the Colt Single Action Army. Really? I like the Colt Single Action Armies. Patrick Edwards never met a gun that I didn't like. Mojave Desert didn't like the Walther PPK. I love my PPK. I really like that little pistol. Shane A. Baker says, I think people would be better learning where to shoot when there are armored shooters. I'm not sure. I think that's a comment intended for someone else, so I think I'm lost there. Ben Crane says the Ruger 57 was cool. For some reason I've always been lukewarm to those. That one and the FN version as well just don't do it for me. Hard Nightly does some Glock 8. That wasn't Glock 8. I was talking about the Glock 7 porcelain gun, that whole thing. Shane Baker, my first carry gun. I'm just kidding. Kinda, not really. Ben Crane, come on over to SIG and avoid the abuse. Ben C, what's your favorite black powder gun, HR? Wow. You know what? I think my favorite one, I'm going to reach over here. The safe happens to be open right now. Now, I got to say, I really like my Thompson Center Hawken rifle. But this thing, my 1851 Remington New Model Army Sheriff's model with the 5.5-inch barrel, I love this revolver. With this shorter barrel, it's just a little bit handier than the full-size one. It has been extremely reliable. I've never had a misfire with this or anything else, and it's really accurate. So I think that's my favorite black powder revolver. So there's a bonus non-firing replica in the video tonight. So I got guns coming out, non-firing replicas coming out everywhere. ME says, HR Funk is a former LEO and armed citizen. What is the best approach when pulled over by law enforcement while lawfully carrying a firearm? Depending on the laws in your state, some states here in Ohio, citizens used to have to inform officers when they came up during a traffic stop if they were carrying a firearm. So make sure you comply with all the laws in your state. Make sure you comply with anything that the officer asks you to do. Here in Ohio, the officer can't ask to, hold someone's firearm during the course of a traffic stop or what have you. The officer will give it back when it's done. Now, they might not come up and hand it to you, butt first with the barrel pointed back at them. They might say, pop your trunk and I'll lay this in the trunk and you can pull it out of there later or what have you. But just, do what the officer asks you to do. If you don't like something or you feel that there was something improper, don't get into an argument on the side of the street. Wait until everything's over. You can call the police department. You can talk to the officer's supervisor, let that person know what happened. And if there's a problem, you can file a complaint and the supervisor and or department can handle that. If it's something more drastic you think was done wrong, you can talk to an attorney. You can look at taking legal action or what have you. But the big thing is don't get into a big brouhaha on the side of the street. That's never, ever going to end up going well. And I saw a whole bunch of comments coming up through here, and I know I just missed a bunch of them. Joel Smith, have enjoyed this evening. Thank you. You're welcome. Need to log off, and that's fine. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for joining, and have a great rest of your evening. Whatever you do, don't take Rabbi's advice on how. I'm going to have to ban you. You're going to have to go stand in a corner, Rabbi. A little whiskey in that ginger ale would taste better. There may be a little bit of that coming later on, but I don't want to be sitting here and handling firearms and slurring my words or anything like that. So just plain old ginger ale right now. Elaine's Domain, Scotch Rocks. Yep. We've gone to Scotland a couple of times in the last 5 or 6 years. My wife and I, her heritage is Scottish, and I really developed a taste for some of the different types of Scotch when I was over there. And I don't know if you've never been to Scotland. It's kind of funny because every yeah, the Highlands of Scotland are just valleys and hills. That's all there is. Just big hills and valley, and every valley has its own distillery making its own kind of Scotch. So there's like 8,000 different kinds of Scotch that's distilled in Scotland. It all has its different taste, but some of the Scotch that I tasted over there I really liked. Have you ever dabbled in flintlock rifles? No, I haven't, and that's something I want to try sometime. I've talked to people that really like flintlocks, and they've told me you got to get into this. I would love to try it. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun, but I just haven't done it yet. Best ginger ale in existence is Verner's. I like Verner's too. It's a little bit more bitey. It's got a little more flavor to it than some of the others, so that's my favorite as well. Love Bundaberg ginger ale. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'll have to watch for it. Of course, then again, that's a suggestion right by Rabbi, so I got to wonder about that. Any thoughts on the new Savage pistol? It's called the Stance. I think it's apparently the first pistol from Savage in over 100 years. I don't think I know anything about it. I don't even think I've heard of it. So I might have to look into that one. Sorry. HR, have you shot an AMT backup? I think so. Back during the 1990s, I remember there were a lot of officers who were buying those for off-duty and backup use. I think I've shot them, but it's been a long, long time, as in like 20 or 25 years. And I really don't remember anything about the experience. Michael Philip Oliver, have you heard about a guy in North Texas, was USMC during the 70s, who apparently is pretty handy? No, I can't say that I have. I don't know who that would be. Crembley Q, did MPs have to pull mess duty? Yes, we did. Now I lost my place. Shane A. Baker, my only SIG is a 365. Have an appendix holster on the way, along with Wilson Combat Grip Module on its way. I'm liking SIGs. Good. Lyle W. says, if I thought California would let me, hell, it took a jump again. Thought California would let me, I'd send back the P80 G17. You'll be a Glockish guy after that. I don't know. And we got Silk Rickabin. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. From Jacksonville, North Carolina. Hey, thanks for joining from Jacksonville. It's been a long time since I was in Jacksonville. When I got recalled into the Marine Corps for Desert Storm, this adds to my bio, and then Rabbi will have to give another update to this. But I got recalled into the Marine Corps, processed back in down at Camp Lejeune, and then they sent me to New River Air Station on the other side of Jacksonville. And that's where I sat for the duration of Desert Storm. So that was my entire Desert Storm story, was sitting there replacing MPs who had been sent to the Gulf and basically doing not much. I didn't do anything heroic whatsoever during Desert Storm. So, but did actually live in Jacksonville for a while. So thank you for joining from down there. David Cackle, my two 625s and 325 are deeply offended. Sorry. And this is just taking a jump again here. And we got some clarifications on some of the laws from the different states, which do differ from state to state. So it's important to make sure, if you live in those states or if you're traveling, to be familiar with what the laws are there. Ben C, have you ever built any guns? I know of guys that do custom 1911s and stuff seems cool. The cost of entry is pretty high. Yeah, I built several AR rifles over the years. So that's and I've built some others. I've built like some muzzleloader kits back in the day and stuff like that. But primarily the ones that I built have been AR-15s of one version or another. Glenn Schultz is leaving, so he's got to go. But thank you for the show. Well, thank you, Glenn, for joining. Appreciate you being here. Michael Oliver, I see the story you got up there, and it's not ringing any bells. I don't know. Maybe I've just been an information vacuum, but that doesn't sound familiar to me. Taylor Spriggle headed to Edinburgh. Edinburgh's a great town. You'll have a lot of fun there, a lot of history. Be sure to go to the castle. That's worth seeing. And one of the cool things about Edinburgh Castle, go to the dungeon. During the American Revolution, there were, and I didn't know this. This is something I didn't learn in school. There were American or colonial naval vessels that had gone over to England, and they were captured. The sailors were captured from those vessels, and they were locked up in Edinburgh Castle in the dungeons. And there are still carvings on the door where these guys, from whatever would have been the 1770s, had carved their name. There was one person that carved the outline of their ship, and you can clearly see that in the carving the U.S. flag on the back of it. So I found that extremely interesting when we went there, and lots of other great things to see in Edinburgh too. So great town. And moving down through here, what's your recommended hair gel? I don't use hair gel. When I keep my hair short enough that it pretty much stands up like this without anything. So no hair gel. HR, what brand button ups do you wear in your videos? Usually, this and a lot of the other ones that you see are shirts that I've gotten from Duluth Trading Company. I get a lot of things there. And the stuff that they have is usually a little heavier and it wears a little bit better. So that's why I end up getting the things that you see there. Peter Angles, HR, what would you think about the return of duels to settle dispute? Oh, probably not a good idea. Joe Morgan says the AMT backup in 45 was painful to fire. I bet it was. Chris S. 1911 got a cowboy shoot Sunday. Have all my gear ready. Good. James Carter, do you have an opinion on the Zastava ZPAP M70? No, I'm sorry, I don't. I wish I did. Average guy was in New River Marine Corps Air Station from 75 to 76. A couple of years before I was there, but that's cool. Probably hadn't changed much. Rabbi, here we go. H.R. Funk continued to distinguish his career by serving 2 years at the Salvation Army. One day happened upon a derelict airsoft rifle. I don't know why I let you in here. Let's see. Shane Baker. New York is not a duty to inform state, which is weird, seeing how New York wants to know everything. I haven't been pulled over in almost 2 years, though. Well, that's good. Take good walking shoes to Edinburgh. Yeah, there's a lot of walking there. And if you like ghost stories, which I do, I think that's fun. Be sure to go to Mary King's Close, which is the essentially an alley that they closed over, and supposedly it's haunted. So that's fun too. Donald Livingston, on the lighter side, Clint Eastwood or John Wayne? Wow. Hmm. 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 I don't know if I can make a pick there. I don't think I can do it. I can't go either way on that one. Ben Crane, what did I miss? Nothing important. Michael Oliver was third MAW, Mag 56, 1966 to 1970 in Marine Corps. Well, Semper Fi, Michael. Yeah, and the message jumping, I see this comment here. It actually does it itself. What happens is there are so many comments that get down below, and I get behind, and I go to move it just a little bit, and the whole thing goes, and then I'm lost. I got to try to find where I was, and usually I miss comments along the way. Patrick Edwards, while we're on the subject, I have insights on concealed carry whilst kilted. It's doable. Not in Scotland, though. I wouldn't recommend carrying a firearm in Scotland. Shane Baker, if you're talking about my qualification video, it's up. It's still up there. I'd have to go back and look through. I've got a playlist on my channel. If you go there with the qualification videos, if you go through those, you should be able to find the New York course. Lee Van Cleef. Rabbi is ducking out. So thanks for joining, Rabbi. Thanks for all the fun. Have a great evening, and you take care. No duels. How about Serbian tossing grenade into the Archduke? Seems to me that caused a problem. It caused a small conflict. Troy Mason, Lee Marvin, USMC. Yeah, Lee Marvin was in the Marine Corps. It's funny too, because before I came in here this evening to start the live stream, I was out watching Netflix, and Full Metal Jacket is back on. So I was watching the beginning of Full Metal Jacket to get my Lee Ermey fix before I came in here. Oh, what are we up to here? Just over an hour. So looks like we got some people that are bailing out, which is fine. Maybe we'll take it for another 5 minutes. Maybe we'll take it till 10 after. So another 7 minutes here, and then we'll call it a night. So last minute questions, comments, jeers, cheers, or whatever, go ahead and throw those up, and I will try to answer anything we've got here in the last few minutes. And looking forward to more cowboy gun videos. I need to get some more cowboy guns to use. I would like to do some more single action videos, get some more lever action videos. So stay tuned. I'll try to get those out. They're always fun. Jeff, Tim, see you tomorrow morning. I won't be here tomorrow morning, Jeff. I announced that at the beginning of the video. There's not going to be a Saturday morning video tomorrow. I just ran out of time this week and didn't get one done. So I apologize for that. Any opinion on the AK-47? I'm probably not the best person to ask on that because I'm far from an AK-47 authority. I think historically, it's an effective firearm. It's a very effective weapon. It's been employed around the world by all kinds of different people, and it has worked. I don't think it has some of the refinement of some other firearms, but here again, it works. So I can't really say anything bad about it. Gun show in Abilene, Texas tomorrow. I probably won't make that one. And now I'm lost here. Oh, gun show in Mansfield tomorrow. I've got to work tomorrow. It's doubtful I'll make it to Mansfield this weekend. Tomorrow I'm working basically all day, and then Sunday we've got some things going on, so I probably won't make it there, which is too bad. I always kind of like to go to the Mansfield Gun Show. Will I am. Rats keep missing the cast from the start. Well, at least you made it here for the end. Do you prefer a vest or a belt for your EDC? A belt, I'm sure. Good crowd for short notice. I agree. Thanks to everyone for attending. I appreciate it. Okay, so B4. Okay, it says hello. Hello. I can't figure out how to pronounce your name, but hello. Let's see. Wayne D. HR Private Chipmunk has per. Wait a second. Private Chipmunk as per Sergeant Ermy. Okay. And B4 is here from Switzerland. So thanks for joining from Switzerland. I appreciate that. It's got to be getting kind of late over there, I would think. Wagtech, did you bring any silver or gold? No, just lead. Let's see. Smith & Wesson M19. As a law student in his mid-20s, what can I do to succeed when working with law enforcement? I plan to be a prosecutor. First off, good for you. My wife was a prosecutor when I met her. She did that for several years. I think one of the difficulties with law enforcement officers working with prosecutors is sometimes prosecutors or attorneys have the idea that officers really don't know a whole lot of what they're talking about, especially with legal issues. And sometimes we don't. But law enforcement officers have to have a very good working knowledge of the law because we have to be able to apply it in the moment. And I think be cognizant of that when you're working with officers, that the decisions that are made are based on basically the best information they have, and that they are applying the law literally on a daily basis. And a lot of times, different laws from call to call and day to day and everything else. So I would say try to be mindful of that when you see some of the reports come in, or you see some of the things, and you look at it and you think, well, why in the world did they do that? Maybe give the officer a call and say, why in the world did you do that? And then get some feedback as to why things went the way they did. I think that's the best thing I could give you. Work with the officers. If the officers feel like you're working with them, they are going to bend over backwards to try to get you the information you need. If you get a report and it needs some follow-up, or it needs some additional work, get a hold of the officer, say, look, I need this, and this, and then I can file this charge. And they're going to go out and they're going to get that for you, as opposed to just sending it back, no charges filed, and the officer gets that and they're like, what's wrong? This is clearly a violation of law. So I think that's the best thing. Just work with your officers, communicate with your officers, and they're going to work with you. Can you make videos on improving the trigger on a second generation Smith & Wesson semi-auto pistol, please? I'm so limited in what I can show on YouTube along those lines. The easy thing to do would be to replace the mainspring with a lighter mainspring that's going to give you a lighter trigger pull. Beyond that, I wouldn't recommend a whole lot of filing or stoning or anything like that on the internal parts. Mojave Desert says, love your qualification videos. Give us a good comparison on shootability between guns. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked them. Any gun shows in Ohio this weekend? Someone just mentioned the Mansfield show coming up this weekend. What do you think about the price of the SKS going up? I remember SKSs when they imported a whole bunch of them back during the 90s, and you could buy them at a gun show for like $65. I mean, they were literally dirt cheap. So they've been going up and up and up for years, and I'm not surprised they're going to go even higher. How about a LE USMC / training story that you could share with us? I have to think how many statutes of limitation have run out. I'm going to have to pass on that. Maybe I'll try to come up with a good one. I'll put it out in a video someday. John Casper, USMC, 1966 to 74, retired wounded in combat. Well, thank you for your service, John. Love my M14 and a selector on the side. 16s were coming in and jamming. And the early M16s did, and I know the problems that were encountered with those early M16s. Fortunately, by the time I came around in the 1980s, they had rectified a lot of that. All right, what are we up to? An hour and 10 minutes. So I know I've got comments here still, but I'm going to have to wrap it up and try to get on to some other things this evening. So thank you to all of you for joining once again. I love doing these. It's tremendous. You all, and I say this all the time, I try to end all my live streams with it. You make the YouTube experience for me. The thing that keeps me coming back and making videos and doing live streams and everything else is the interaction that I have with all of you. It is not working with YouTube / Google. It is not, any kind of remuneration I get or anything else. It is working with all of you, or not working, but interacting with all of you, communicating with you, looking at your comments, discussing things back and forth. So thank you to my channel members who actually pay a monthly subscription fee. Thank you. I can never say thank you enough to all of you who have become members to the channel. I appreciate that more than you could ever know. I hope you all have a great evening. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And until we get together again, good shooting, everyone, and good evening for now. Bye-bye.